upholsterers who can't do deep buttoning. So what they do is they'll bring the job into me, I'll do the deep buttoning, then they take the chair away or sofa away and finish off upholstering it. This particular chair, an antique chair, a couple of 100 years old, the back needs deep buttoning on it, and upholsterer dropped it off this morning, ready for me to do. So I'll show you what I'm going to do now. So I'm just going to mark out. This is just to show you how it's going to look. So I'm going to have pleats like this from these. These are the buttonholes that the upholsterer's made for me. And then that's going to be pleated like that. And then there's going to be pleats up here and down here. So that's the idea of the chair. That's how it's going to be. Then what I'll do is once that's buttoned, I'll just leave it all loose and let the other upholsterer finish it off. I'm going to explain to you now how to measure the back of this. It's reasonably easy. You need a soft tape. So if you just turn the chair so you can see, down the side here there's a gap. That's where your fabric will pull through from the back. So it'll come through here. So you can just see my finger there. If I push the tape through, you'll see it come through. You need to make sure you allow plenty of fabric for this, because you'll fasten it all off later on. So pull the tape through, allowing enough where your fabric could go, and then literally just go along, push your tape into the buttonhole, go along, into the next buttonhole, and so on, as if the tape is your fabric. That'll give you your measurement side to side and do the same top to bottom. So that's how I measure that. So what I've done now is I've already cut the fabric. So this is the fabric that's been sent down. One thing I always do is I always mark the top of the fabric, so I know which is the top. And the other thing you'll notice on this, if I hold it up, you'll see a line right down the centre of the fabric and a line going across the fabric. The reason that's on there is so that I can centralise this. That line will go up the centre row of buttons. That line will go across the centre row of buttons. That centralises your fabric, makes sure you're not short on either side. What you're going to need now to button this is buttons. So there's 8 buttons, so I've made those with a loop on the back, a double-ended needle, which is called a buttoning needle, some nylon twine, which is actually called buttoning twine, a pair of shears, and some webbing. And I'll explain to you how you use these as we go along. Start off with the fabric now. So again, make sure the top is at the top, which was previously marked. Drape the fabric over it, then turn it back on itself so that you're able to see these lines. So then I can line the horizontal line up with those buttons there, and the vertical line up the centre. So you can see there that that's lined up. So what I can do now is turn that the right way. So that's your fabric in place now for starting. So before you actually start, you're better off getting prepared. So your nylon buttoning twine, you need a length of probably about that, 18 inches, maybe a bit less, bit more, doesn't matter, it's what you prefer yourself. So you need 8 of those. So I'll cut 8 of them. And then the other thing you'll need is the webbing. With the webbing, cut a length of probably about 2.5 inches, and again 8 of those, and then as we come to it I'll show you how you use these and what they're for. If you've got one button in the centre of all your buttoning, always start in the centre. I've got 2 buttons, so I'm going to still start in the centre because I've got 3 up here, 3 here and 2 here. So just hold the fabric roughly in place, get your finger and work it into the buttonhole. Just keep working your finger till it's in, and you'll feel the hessian or the packing at the back. Once you're right in there with your finger, keep your finger in. Get your buttoning needle, and push it through, making sure the eye's at this end. Get one of your buttons, thread your twine onto it so that it's like that. Put both ends of the twine through the buttoning needle. Don't pull it right through, so it's like that. You can see the button dangling down. Pull it through. That's in place now. And then I'll go around the back and show you how it's tied off. Tied off. I know this slip knot might seem a bit confusing when I'm tying it round one finger like this, so I'll show you the easy way to do it. Get one of the strands and put a knot. So there's a knot, it's just a straightforward knot. Get the other end of your twine and put it through there. Then pull this one tight. Just pinch the knot and pull it tight. And at this stage, you put your webbing in. You'll find as well, if you pull the wrong one, it doesn't go anywhere at all. Pull your slip knot as tight as you can, and then with this now, it is just a case of one of them knots like that. Pull that tight, that locks it off, and just put another one on. And that's your button tied off. I'm going to explain to you now about these final buttons to create the diamond. It's just so you can get this correct. So what you need to do, I've got 3. They're the first 2 buttons I put in, and there's the third. What you've got here is the diamond. I know it's a busy fabric and it's hard to see, but you've got the bottom part of the diamond here. You've got pleats here. You don't want them, you need to get rid of that. So if you pinch the fabric and pull it up to where the other buttonhole is, and make sure the middle of the diamond is smooth. Don't worry about these at the moment, these pleats. There's different ways of doing this, but this is my preferred method, so that'll be where my next button goes there. And this diamond's nice and smooth. Well, that's the last button gone in. So what I do now is I literally just trim them off. I like to keep the inside of my jobs as tidy as the outside, so that's what the buttoning looks like from the back. And then we'll go along to the front. The final part of this chair now, for me anyway, is I put it on its back so that I can sort the pleats out. And the tool I use for this is a regulator. And this is well, that's an antique one, that's very, very old. And it's got a nice end on it there for doing the pleats. So I'll show you now how to do these pleats. So this is all buttoned, and all this loose fabric here, when the upholsterer gets this back, we'll tuck all this in, and he'll put pleats down here. Same at the sides, this will all be tucked in, it will be pleated here. So my job is to sort these pleats out in the centre. So if you can see across here, the fabrics, I know it's very hard to see with this busy fabric, but it's all over the place, that. So what you do is if you get hold of it, don't be shy with it, don't be scared of pulling at the fabric. Pull it, and literally I'm tucking this fabric underneath here. Then when it's right, I get my regulator in. Just get my pleat, so the pleat sits nice and flat like that. Now what I do with my pleats is I always have them going down on a back. So that one's going down, so this next one here, you can see there's like a triple pleat there. So again, don't be scared of pulling the fabric. Get the end of my regulator in there. If you've not got one of these needles like this, a handle of a spoon works nicely, as long as it's not got any sharp corners on it. So there's another one done. I'll work my way around that now.